Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Death Note Season 1, Episode 4 called Pursuit.
So, a boy,
Light.
I know what his name is, that one's easy.
Look alive, Adam, look alive.
I'm alive. Has decided he's gonna kill another person who's done nothing wrong. And it seems like he's getting a little paranoid. What I think though is that the guy following him is an FBI agent looking at his dad.
Yeah, he seems pretty laid back about who he's ready to dispose of now. So that escalated very quickly.
It didn't take him long to be like, anybody who disagrees with me needs to go. We're talking like dictatorship 101, like after 15 years of power.
And his dad is the chief of the investigative team, so that's a twist that I didn't expect.
No, me either.
We also learned, and Light has a very important decision to make this episode, I think, in that Ryuk is giving him the option. What?
I was laughing, I buried the lead. That was the most important part, but not what I started with.
Just to bring Adam back up to speed, Ryuk gave him the option to be able to have the power to see the names and how many years are left for people and sacrifice half of his own life. I think he's gonna do it because he just seems that power hungry right now, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not a good choice.
No, it's not a good choice at all. Oh, with a little legwork, you can probably figure out who people are. And it's gonna cost him, so he's probably 19, 20?
17?
Yeah.
All this is doing is it is a quick disposal method of people, which just proves how far down the rabbit hole this guy is.
Agreed.
I'm unimpressed with him right now.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Can't wait to see Ryuk's shirt stitched into his skin. Can't wait to see his big teeth, his puggy eyeballs. I can't wait for all of it.
And just floating behind him.
Just floating behind him, like he is so tall and his wings are struggling to keep him up. So here we go. Let's see if Light can redeem himself just a little and make a good choice. But I'm not hopeful of that. So Season 1, Episode 4 of Death Note is coming right now.
He's getting entertainment.
Because the pages are getting wasted in the one.
僕が死神の目を持つためには寿命の半分を差し出さなければならない。そうだったな。
That's easy for a 15-year-old to say. They think they're invincible.
リュウク、この取引、論外だ。
Probably not for the reason that I want it to be, but
It was a pretty quick decision
I'm
on his
happy
part,
about
though.
that.
It was the quote-unquote smart decision.
いいか、リュウク。僕は犯罪者のいない理想の新世界を作る。そして、そこの世界の神として長く君臨するんだ。僕の寿命が伸びるんなら考えるが、短くなるんじゃ話にならない。そんなことリュウクだって分かってるはずだろ。
ああ、ただ、そういう取引もあると言いたかっただけだ。
Was
そう
that
い
the
う
reason
話
you
を早
expected?
くしておかないと後で文句を言われても嫌だからな。
No. Well, I mean, yes, it doesn't make me happy though.
だったら
It's not
言
a
うの
great
遅いだろ
reason.
う。そういう話は会ってすぐに言うか。ノートの使い方の説明にでも書いておくべきじゃないのか。
そうだな。仮にも死神である俺を恐れることもなく、こびることもなく、こういうことに関してはガンガン突っ込んでくる。
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
で、もう前もって言っておくべきことはないんだろうな。死神リュウク。
ああ、もうない。多分。
そうか。残念だ。
残念。
目でなく翼だったら本気で取引を考えたかもしれない。翼を持って空を自由に飛ぶなんて神らしいじゃないか。人類が古代からずっと抱いてきた夢でもあるしね。
翼が生えて空を飛んだら目立つだろう。それだけで警察に捕まりそうだが。
今のは冗談だリュウク。しかしそうやってメダの翼だの取引していくうちにいつの間にか本当の死神にされてしまう。そういう話も面白いじゃないか。
安心しろ。そんなことしなくてもライト。お前はもう立派な死神だ。
Not sure that's a compliment.
今の死神界は腐ってるからな。ただ死にたくないという理由だけで漠然と生きている奴らばっかりだ。何のために存在しているのかすら多分存在してる意味なんてないんだろう。
He's like their
そんな死神よりライト、
theologist or
お
their
前の方がよっ。
まあ話を聞いてると死神と一緒にされたくないね。僕は人間として人間のためにデスノートを使っているんだ。
Yep, keep telling yourself that.
人間にとっては死神界は決して無意味な存在じゃない。だってそうだろ。リュウクのような死神が100年1000年に一度でも降りてきただけで人間界は大きく変わるんだ。恐ろしく意味ある存在だよ。
That's an
今の死
interesting
神
point.
界がそこまで腐ってるというのなら人間界に来たことを生かして変えてみたらどうだ。
お前って本当はものすごくプラス思考な人間なのかもしれないな。
当たり前じゃないか。前向きじゃなきゃ自ら世界を良くしようなんて思わないよ。
Give yourself a little pat on the back, man. Okay.
But he brings up some interesting points. It's interesting. He believes he's doing the right thing, and there's definitely justification for what he's doing, or the debate of the ends justify the means.
We're doing one small murdery thing for a bigger, better reason. The ends justify the means.
Oh, it's so complex.
It's really interesting. So somebody posted, like, I would never use the Death Note. But that being said, if I knew I could kill Hitler, would I? Like, those are the kind of questions that this brings up in terms of what's morality, what's right or wrong, what is the greater evil, what is the greater good. Like, knowing you could do something and not doing it because it's wrong for you, but it's just, and I'm not saying I have any answers, but it's interesting to think about.
Humans are just very interesting creatures. We are opportunistic.
Yeah.
We all want to believe that we're good people. And we allow ourselves to believe what we want to believe about ourselves, about others, etc. Like, Light is a mass murderer, but I don't know. I'm gonna be circling the drain on this for a while.
I also think it's incredibly interesting that a teenager has the Death Note, because I think about being that age, going through university, like, those are the most idealistic times of your life, most of the time.
You don't even have the frontal lobe development yet. Like, that's concerning.
You know, you have a very strong view of right or wrong. You're shaping your belief in the world. To have that kind of power, along with what is generally like a black and white way of thinking, it's fascinating.
But then it calls into question something like the butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is a lot of evil and bad things in the world, but it's just like you think of, okay, you remove one bad thing, but had that thing stayed, this is what the course of history would be like. But if you remove it, then there's like a blip in that course, and then what path diverts from there? Does it make things better or does it not? And like every book I've read about stuff like this and every movie I've watched about stuff like this, it always ends up worse. But even Ryuk is stumped.
But even his comment about, well, why don't you just go back and make your world better? Like it's such a simplistic view, but it's an incredibly profound statement.
He's like, no.
Well, it's just I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
わかった。
どうした？何がわかった？
今日僕を尾行してたやつの名前を知る方法だよ。
どうする気だ？
デスノートの使い方を利用するんだ。死因を書くとさらに6分40秒詳しい死の状況を記載する時間が与えられる。まずこの死の詳しい状況がどの範囲まで自由にできるのか試させてもらう。
ああ、私だ。また刑務所内の犯罪者が6人。心臓麻痺か。キラだな。3人が死の直前に今までにない行動？ただの心臓麻痺じゃないのか？
いえ、死因は心臓麻痺なんですが、刑務所の壁に自分の指を切った血で、もう一人は遺書とも何とも言えない文章を残している。脱走してわざわざ職員用のトイレの中で。
どうした渡り？
先ほど今までと少し違う心臓麻痺の被害者が出ました。現場に残された絵と文章の画像を送ります。
キラに怯えた文章。ただ単に犯罪者が取った行動とも取れ。キラは死の時間を操れる。もしも死の直前の行動も操れる。局長、今回の犠牲者の件ですが、心臓麻痺以上のことは発表しないでください。キラが犯罪者によって何かのテストをしている可能性があります。
How come L is the only person that can reach these conclusions?
He's got an open mind to the possibilities of things that wouldn't normally be considered.
犯罪者を使ってテ
There's
スト。
the answer.
ひどいな。人の命をまるでゲームを楽しむかのように絶対に許せん。
Yeah, but it's
キラが犯罪者で実験をしているとしたら何が狙いだ？
You know what I think would make L's job a lot easier? A desk and chair. He's like crouching on the ground
definitely helps his posture.
in an empty room. Quick escape with that huge, massive desktop computer.
He puts things together really quick.
Very quick. Are you that experienced in the detective field, or do you have criminal experience? You know how to think like a criminal.
Do you think that would help him in this case? Like, this seems like such a unique situation. Like, I'm super impressed. He's been on point.
He doesn't miss. That's the
No.
thing. Like, he does not miss.
Nobody gets predictions as good as me.
How do you know how to do that? Nobody can start this car but me.
I know. Adam's upset. He's got competition now.
見ろよリュウク。父さんのパソコンには
This is
もう
gonna
昨日
screw
の
him.
6人のテスト結果が打ち込まれている。思った通りの結果だ。使えるよ、デスノートは。
どういう意味だ？
一人は脱走してからノートに指定したトイレに、僕がノートに書いた絵と同じ絵を壁に描き、僕がノートに書いた文章と同じ文章を残る。僕の思い通りになったわけだ。
What is he planning?
他の3人は
ん？
まず1時間後にフランスのエッフェル塔の前で死ぬ。1時間後にフランスなんて物理的に不可能だ。だからこれは実現せず、 刑務所の壁に L そっくりの似顔絵を描く。知らない人間の顔は描けない。
なるほど。
そして最後の一人に
Ryuk hasn't thought of any of this stuff.
っていることを知っている。そう書き残すように指示した。実行されなかった。考えもしない。その人間が書くには不自然すぎることは書けない。いくらデスノートでもありえないことはできない。その人間がやってもおかしくない範囲の行動なら。
それは分かったが、で、
It's a good question.
L も警察も。名探偵は当分、犯罪者の残した絵や文章。全く意味のないダイイングメッセージのだ。
キラが犯罪者を使って何らかのテストをしたとするなら、何かを始めるため。今動き出せば、不審な行動をとる人物が FBI の目に留まる可能性も。ただ、もしテスト以外の目的があったとしたら、
Good to see he's got at least a little doubt.
何かのメッセージ。これか。
じゃあいよいよ本番だ。
本番？
昨日ニュースでやっていた銀行を襲ったが金を奪えず一般人を襲って逃げた麻薬常習犯。こいつを使う。当日だけどなんとかなるだろう。何人か当たってみよ
う。何人か当たる？
ああ。こう見えても僕は結構モテるんだよ。行く？
He's so smug.
もしもし。ライト？おはよ
う。There was a hidden message built into the thing that he didn't think had the hidden message.
Yeah, but do you think he knew that?
No.
So you don't think he put it in there just to mean nothing? Just to give him something to think about? Like, because he
he said what he intended the guy to write, and he's like, the guy didn't write that.
I thought he wrote the random note word for word, but he didn't write the police are suspicious of L. Or did I get that wrong?
It's my understanding that Light wanted the criminal to write L is suspicious of the police.
Correct.
But the note didn't say that.
I thought
because the people are incapable of doing things or writing things that they don't already know.
Correct. But I thought the highlight of was the random note he had the guy read. That was just gibberish. So he had
he saw that. It was like, because in Japanese you read top to bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Japanese they read top to bottom, but across the top, which was like Arabic read, like, or Arabic reads backwards, but like Roman, we read left to right.
And you don't think that was intentional?
No, I think it was a hidden message.
Written by the guy who died.
Maybe not intentionally, or I don't know, but it was just like the guy didn't write what L wanted him to write, and what I understand is they read like that, but the message was across the top. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong.
We'll find out, but I'm curious to know what he's planning with the drug dealer and his friends. That seems...
Well, I also, not to keep going on this tangent, but also he wanted him to draw a picture of L.
Yeah.
But the pentagram was drawn instead, which is like Satan's symbol.
I think you may have missed something.
No, honey. That's not right, is it?
Didn't he say, I wanted him to draw a picture of L?
Yeah, so he set up 6 scenarios. So the first one was for the guy to draw a pentagram. The second one was for him to write a note of just gibberish. And the third one was for him to run to the bathroom and die. Then he set 6 deaths that were impossible to do. Fly to France in an hour, draw a picture of L's face, which he didn't know, and to write the note that said the police are suspicious of L. All 3 of those people just died of a heart attack and did not complete the tasks, but the first 3 tasks were completed. And the hidden hidden message was in the random note that he had the second guy write.
I completely here I was. Look at me. I thought I was Carmen Sandiego for a second.
I think I got it. I think that's
I
correct.
should have known. Don't come up with any ideas. Leave it all to Adam. That's the moral of the story. Well, if you guys stuck with me through all of that, I'm sure there's a lot of comments from that last 2 minutes. You can delete them because the record is set straight. Thanks. How embarrassing. So, welcome back.
尾行はついているな。それでいい。尾行がいないとこれからやることの意味がなくなってしまう。
Oh, this is his plan to figure out who that is.
デートか。
ああ、どう見ても思いっきりデートさ。僕を尾行しているやつから見てもね。
ただのデートじゃないだろ。尾行者の名前を知る方法が分かったと言ってたが、一体何をするつもりなんだ？
He's not gonna tell.
あれ、リュウク。僕がデスノートに何を書いたか見ていなかったのか？
ああ、それ見ちゃうとつまらないからな。
だったらどうなるかおとなしく見てろよ。
He barely flaps his wings to stay in the air.
全然。それよりスペースランドなんて中学の時以来。楽しみ。しかも今日はライトと二人っきりだし。
ああ、うん。
平日は外出といったら学校と予備校に行くくらい。たまの休みにデートか。至って普通。いや、真面目な受験生だ。八神局長の息子ライト。疑う余地なし。とりあえず今日一日の行動を見て終わりだ。
Mission accomplished, I guess. Part of the
でも
mission
ライト、
anyway.
受験終わるまでは遊ばないとか言ってなかった？
ああ、それは全国模試1位の立場だから。
感じ悪い。
Not much of a tail if you sit right behind him on the bus.
Boo. This is the drug dealer guy?
やつだ。
Yeah.
乗客はやつを除いて7人。これなら全てうまくいく。
このバスは俺が乗っ取った。
Teeth are humongous.
バスジャック。こんな時に
騒ぐんじゃねえ。少しでも動いたやつはぶっ殺すぞ。運転手、スペ
probably wrote
ー
it.
スランドの事務所の電話番号は知ってるな。かけろ。
I redeemed myself?
Yeah, you
Just kidding.
No,
No, I
you
didn't.
4号車のドライバー佐々木です。
今の状況を教えてやれ。
銃を持った男にバスをジャックされました。
貸せ。ということだ。よく聞け。昨日の売り上げをスペースランド2つ手前のバス停まで女が一人で車で持ってこい。バスが着く前にだ。下手な小細工したり警察に知らせたりしたら乗客を一人ずつぶっ殺す。
ゆりちゃん、安心して。犯人の隙を見て僕がピストルを持った手を押さえる。
危険だ。やめろ。その時は私がやる。大丈夫だ。筆談などしなくても小声なら走行音でここの会話は犯人には聞こえない。
あの犯人と共犯者でないという証拠はありますか？
共犯？
よくあるケースだよ。犯人は一人と思わせておいて、いざという時のためにあらかじめ後方からの見張りを置いておく。
He thinks of everything.
どうしました？
Even where he sat on the bus.
本当に？
仕方がない。八神ライトがキラであるわけがない。キラなら犯人を心臓麻痺で殺せるんだ。これが証拠だ。見てくれ。
FBI？ そうか。 L は FBI を使って日本警察関係者を調べさせていたのか。名前はレイ・ペンバー。信用します。
I mean, you gotta give it to him. He's pretty sneaky. Like, that's... This is clever.
I just hate it because he knows he's clever. He's got that attitude about it. I am honestly still reeling about my massive miss. Like, what did I black out for 2 minutes?
But you probably missed the rest of the show because you've just been thinking about that.
No, and you know what else mesmerized me? The size of that guy's teeth. He could have just eaten the phone.
You do like teeth though, just not when they're too big.
I do like nice teeth. I love nice teeth, but I just notice teeth in general.
It's true.
Just a fun fact about me, not that you wanted to know. But like the fact that it works out the way he wants.
Yeah, but he's in control. That was the point that I missed that you made. He's scripted all of it.
Do you think he wrote down where the FBI agent was sitting?
No, because he's not gonna die.
No, see, that's the point.
But he sat in the second last seat to the end, to the back. There was nowhere else to sit if you're gonna trail him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like everything that he's planning is working out.
I mean, he's pretty meticulous.
Like he definitely wrote down the thing about the drug dealer hijacking the bus and he's gonna die that way, blah, blah, blah. Sure, that's what I'm thinking at least. But like for everything else to work out, he's lucky.
I'm curious what he's gonna do now he knows this guy's an FBI agent.
He's gonna kill him.
I don't know. I think that that's gonna cross the line for him.
He already decided he wanted to kill his stalker.
I get that, but I think that there's gonna be... It's one thing to think something, it's another to do it, especially now that he's met him. He's only killed criminals up until now. And I know he intended to kill L, who was innocent, but he still hasn't done it. He hasn't... In his brain, he's crossed the line, but he hasn't actually crossed the line yet. That line, I'm not saying killing.
Well, he did gather some good information, though. He knows that he's being followed now because L had to employ the FBI.
Yeah.
So everybody in the police department. So now he's gonna make sure to like keep his distance from his dad and stuff, probably.
And he's got a dynamic to play off of between the Japanese police and L. Oh, we'll see.
なぜ FBI の捜査官がここに乗り合わせたのかは聞きません。銃は
持っている。
では、いざという時はお任せしていいですね。
あ、静かにしろ！ぶっ殺されたいのか！
あの男、2日前に日本でニュースになっていた男だ。銀行を襲い、一般人3人を殺して逃げた麻薬常習犯。極めて危険だ。
大丈夫。奴の銃は絶対に僕たちを撃たない。
おい、お前動くな。なんだそ
I
の紙
wonder
は。
how much free will he has
乗
in
客
this
だしメモ
scenario.
で相談してやがったのか。
まずい。さっきのメモを見られたら、彼が隙を見て奴に飛びかかろうとしていたことが。
デートの約束かよ。くだらね
え。やった。
なんだてめえは。そこの一番後ろのやつ。何ふざけてやがる。いつからそこにいた。
俺のことか。お前、俺の姿が見えるのか。
動くかねえ。うつだバケモノ。
まずい。幻覚を見ている。みんな伏せろ。
そうか。さっきライトの落としたデートの約束メモ、デスノートを切って書いたものだったわけか。そしてこいつにメモを触らせて、こいつにだけ俺の姿を見せる。頭いい。悪いな。俺は死神だからそんなものじゃ死なないんだ。デスノートに触った者には俺の姿が見える。俺はライトの後をついていなければならない。死神は銃で撃たれても死なない。
おい、お前、俺の姿が見えるのか。
みんな俺がライトに言ったことだ。さすが全国共通模試1位、応用力がある。そしてこのバスジャックを利用して尾行してたやつの名前も難なくゲットか。
車を止めて、ご苦労。
Run over by a car. That was crunchy.
I mean, he traumatized his friend pretty well.
I just want to know, like, how long was he able to write that essay in the Death Note in 7 minutes?
すべて予定通り。
He's getting creative now. Letting that imagination fly. I mean, if we're looking at this from an outside perspective, like, kudos to him.
I mean, yeah, he is intelligent. They set us up to let us know how intelligent he is. That was quite the scenario. He must have been scribbling furiously.
But I think there's a limit to the Death Note. So if he starts writing these elaborate stories and he runs out of pages, I think that's game over. You fail. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the definition of, the Death Note being finished, but then they said that Ryuk had brought 2 with him.
We're back to questions. Anime always leaves me with
This
questions.
boy is clever. I'll give him that, but like...
You get too clever to the point of, like, it backfiring on you.
You're only gonna dive through so many loopholes before you get caught.
Well,
up in some,
That's the thing, is you have to be flawlessly clever. You only have to mess up once. Odds are not in his favor.
事故死。公園東口バス停より午前11時31分発スペースランド行きのバスに銃を持って乗り込むが、この世のものとは思えぬ幻影を見て、それに向かって前弾を発砲し、バスから逃走。その直後、同日11時45分、事故に遭い死亡。
Well, he summarized that very succinctly. That's that.
デスノートに狂いなし。次はあなたの番だ、レイ・ペンバ。
Never mind. Go for it.
Yeah, see, he seems like he's intending to kill him.
You're not wrong. You know what? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt until he crosses the line.
I think lines have been crossed.
Undoubtedly.
And I'm sorry, there's only so much that you can mess with the Shinigami. Like, he could probably kill him whenever he wants. Like, at any point where you can be like, okay, kid, enough's enough. I've had enough of your antics.
He's got his own book. So he can scribble that name down faster. Like quick draw with a pen. I know he can't die putting a name in a book.
I'm just envisioning them
what
staring at each other and furiously scribbling, staring at each other's eyes. My mind is racing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we didn't get super far into the plot today. It was more about him finding the limitations and what he can do with the book, and now he's getting clever about setting up scenarios. I'm sure that when he sets up the FBI's death, it's going to look like an accident.
Well, now he knows that L is investigating the police force. Like, he gained some good information.
To accomplish his end goal,
Exactly.
right or wrong. Definitely.
The plot definitely didn't, like, proceed super far, but he gained information and we're seeing kind of his evolution.
Yeah.
I want to apologize for my rant that I went on. Clearly missed the control group in the tests.
Question for you. Next episode, does the FBI agent die or not die? Because he's cleared him. See, this is the interesting part, is Light doesn't know that he's cleared him as being unsuspicious. Like, he could just let it go.
Well, you know what could be really easy? Is he could go home and be like, I was on that bus where the guy died. There was an FBI agent sitting behind me, thankfully.
100%.
And then his dad will know, and then it'll kind of maybe take care of itself.
But he's still, that comment makes me think he was intent on killing him anyway. Which would be super suspicious because they know who's tracking who. I hope he doesn't overplay his hand.
Whew. Anyways, let us know your thoughts. No spoilers, please. I know we ask a lot of questions. We like to throw out the predictions like crazy. So please help us out with our questions. Let us know. As always, we'd be so excited if you'd like this video. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned because more Death Note is coming next week. Bye, guys.